I maxed out my credit cards to help throw my sister's dream baby shower. I bought decorations, catered food, even paid for her maternity photos. When it came time for thank yous, she smiled and said, "I'd like to thank everyone who actually matters." My hands shook as I clapped along with everyone else. 3 years later, she needed someone to raise her child and I let the silence answer her. I want to say I saw it coming. I want to say I knew what kind of person she really was. But the truth is, I didn't. Or maybe I did, but I ignored it because she was my little sister. And when you grow up cleaning up your family's messes, it becomes second nature. I'm Rachel. I live in Goose Creek, South Carolina. Small town, nothing fancy. I work full-time at a dental office doing billing and scheduling. I'm not rich. I've always been careful with money because I had to be. Rent's not cheap, and neither is living alone. My sister Kelsey is 4 years younger than me. From the moment she was born, it was like the world revolved around her. She had that look that made strangers smile, big eyes, pretty curls, perfect little voice. Even when we were kids, everything had to be about Kelsey. If she cried, the world stopped. If she wanted something, it appeared. Me? I just tried not to rock the boat. I was the one who helped clean the house, who stayed quiet during arguments, who made sure Mom got her pills when she forgot. Fast forward to a few years ago. Kelsey was married to a guy named Brad. Big talker, not much to back it up. He sold real estate and liked to act like he was a hotshot, but he always had that twitchy, shady look in his eye. Still, Kelsey loved him. She posted about him constantly, my rock, my king, all that. Then came the pregnancy. Her first. Suddenly, the whole family went into baby mode. She acted like she was the Virgin Mary herself. Every conversation started and ended with her pregnancy. She had a name picked out before she was even out of the first trimester, Ava Grace. She had a theme for her baby shower, soft pinks and golds, woodland animals, fairy lights, and a floral arch. I said I'd throw it for her. No one else in the family had the money or the time, and I figured, this is what family does. I didn't realize then what it would cost, not just money, but something worse. I planned every inch of that baby shower. I stayed up at night watching videos on how to fold napkins like little dresses. I hired a caterer that specialized in Southern comfort food, shrimp and grits, cornbread, little mason jar desserts. I ordered decorations from 5 different websites. When the arch I ordered came in broken, I spent 3 nights after work hot gluing fake flowers until my fingers blistered. When I showed Kelsey the hall I'd rented and the decorations I picked, she actually cried. She said it was beautiful. She said I nailed her vision. That made me feel something like maybe, finally, I'd done something that mattered. On top of all that, I paid for maternity photos. A photographer friend of mine gave me a discount, but I still shelled out nearly $300 for the session. She wore a white lace dress and stood in a field holding her belly while the sun went down behind her. They turned out stunning. I handed over every dollar I had. I maxed out my Visa and my Discover cards. I told myself I'd pay it off over time. It was for Kelsey. It was for her baby. It would be worth it. The day of the shower, people gasped when they walked in. It looked like something off Instagram. I wore a plain dress and stayed out of the spotlight. I didn't want praise. I just wanted her to feel loved. After the food and games, Kelsey stood up in front of everyone. There were at least 40 people there. She had her hands folded over her belly, smiling like a celebrity. She started thanking people. She thanked Brad. She thanked Brad's mom for bringing a quilt. She thanked her friend Shelby for the cupcakes. She thanked a coworker for a onesie. Then she looked around the room and said, "And finally, I want to thank everyone who actually matters. You know who you are." People clapped. Some even laughed like it was a joke. But I knew. She didn't say my name. Not once. I had spent nearly $3,000. I had worked for 2 months straight planning every single thing. I had done it all for her. And I didn't matter. I sat there clapping like everyone else, but my hands were shaking. I felt like someone poured cold water down my spine. Afterward, I waited for her to pull me aside. I thought, maybe she just forgot. Maybe she'd hug me, say something, anything. She didn't. She left with her gifts and went home. Didn't even say goodbye. I called her 2 days later. I didn't yell. I just said, "Hey, I just wanted to say, it kind of hurt that you didn't mention me at the shower." She laughed. Laughed. "Oh my God, Ratch, you're seriously being sensitive? That day wasn't about you. I'm sorry if your feelings are hurt, but it was my shower." I bit my tongue so hard I tasted blood. After that, something in me changed. I didn't blow up. I didn't scream. I just stepped back. I stopped calling her. I didn't reply to every little update about the baby. I didn't offer to babysit. I kept my distance. She didn't notice. Not really. She had what she wanted: attention, a cute baby, a Facebook full of likes. 3 years passed. Then last year, out of nowhere, I got a call. She was crying. Panicked. Said she needed help. Brad had been arrested for fraud. She didn't say what kind, just that it was serious. She had no money. No job. No one to turn to. "I need you to take Ava," she said. "Just until I figure things out. I don't trust anyone else." I stood in my kitchen with the phone pressed to my ear. She kept talking. Rambling. Begging. I could hear Ava in the background, asking for juice. She said it again, quieter. "Please. You're the only person I can count on." I stayed quiet. She went still. "Rachel? Are you there?" I said, "I'm thinking about how you said I didn't matter." She gasped. "Rachel, that was years ago. You know I didn't mean that." But she did. And now she wanted me to carry her burden again. I didn't scream. I didn't say no. I just let the silence speak for me. And she finally hung up. The silence between us became a wall. After that call, I didn't hear from Kelsey for a while. Not a word. No texts, no voicemails. I half expected her to show up at my doorstep with Ava in tow, forcing me to deal with it. That's what she always did, throw her problems at people and hope someone else picked them up. But she didn't come. Weeks passed. Then months. I started to forget what her voice sounded like. But I couldn't forget the way she made me feel. Not just that day at the baby shower, but every day before it. Years of being her backup. Her emergency contact. Her emotional sponge. And now, she was gone because I didn't say yes. That should have been it. But one day, about 6 months after that call, I got a visit at work. I was sitting behind the desk at the dental office, logging patient charts, when the front door opened and in walked someone I hadn't seen in years: my mother. She looked older than I remembered. Thinner. Her clothes hung off her shoulders like she'd lost weight too fast. Her eyes were bloodshot. "Rachel," she said, barely above a whisper. "Can we talk?" I nodded, mostly because I didn't want to cause a scene in front of the hygienist. We stepped outside to the parking lot. "She's not okay," my mom said. "Kelsey. She's falling apart." I crossed my arms. She's always falling apart. This time's different. She lost the apartment. Brad's in prison. She's been staying with some friend, but it's not stable. And Ava's not doing great either. That hit me like a punch. "What do you mean?" "She misses school a lot. She's scared all the time. She's been having these tantrums, saying she wants to go home, but she doesn't even know where that is anymore. I stayed quiet. I stared at the pavement. My heart was racing. She needs help, my mom said, almost pleading now. She needs you. No, I said. Not yelling. Just firm. She needed me 3 years ago. And she spit in my face. She's your sister. And I was hers. I walked back inside before she could say anything else. But that night, I couldn't sleep. All I could think about was Ava, this little girl who didn't ask to be born to two people who couldn't get their lives together. I thought about her eating cereal for dinner, sleeping on a couch, maybe listening to her mom cry behind a door. I thought about that stupid baby shower. About the pink decorations and the fake smiles. About how I let Kelsey make me feel like nothing. And I thought, if I step in now, am I doing it for Ava? Or am I doing it because I still want to be needed? The next twist came not from Kelsey, not from my mom, but from Brad. One night I got home and found a letter in my mailbox. No return address. Inside was a handwritten note. Rachel, I don't blame you for not helping her. She was cruel to you. But Ava doesn't deserve this. If you can help, please do. I'm not getting out anytime soon. Brad. I sat there staring at his handwriting. The same guy I once thought was a fake, a fraud, was asking me to step up. And the worst part? I was actually considering it. I folded the letter and put it in a drawer. I didn't call anyone. I didn't reply. But something was shifting. Not just in the situation in me. Because now, it wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about a choice. And I didn't know which way I was going to go yet. 2 weeks after I got Brad's letter, I saw Ava. I wasn't planning to. I was grocery shopping at the local Publix on a Saturday morning. I turned the corner by the bakery section, and there they were, Kelsey and Ava. Kelsey looked rough. Hair pulled into a greasy bun, dark circles under her eyes, clothes that didn't fit right. Ava was in a pink hoodie that was too small, sleeves barely covering her wrists. She saw me first. Ava. Her face lit up like a light bulb. Auntie Ratch. She dropped the pack of mini donuts she was holding and ran straight at me. I froze. She hugged my legs. Tight. I hadn't seen her in over a year. She had grown. Taller, but still tiny. I felt her heartbeat against my knees. Hi, I whispered, my throat dry. Kelsey came over, slower, dragging her feet. She didn't say anything at first. Just stared at me. You look good, she finally muttered. I looked her in the eye. You don't. She gave a half laugh, but there was no real humor in it. Ava pulled back. Are you coming over today? Kelsey opened her mouth to say something, but I cut her off. I didn't know that was on the table. She looked away. We're staying at Gina's place. Just for now. Ava doesn't have a lot of toys there. She keeps asking about you. Does she even remember me? She remembers everything. The awkward silence stretched between us like a rope pulled too tight. Do you want to get lunch? Kelsey finally asked. My treat. I mean, I'll Venmo you. I'm busy, I said, cutting her off again. But I looked down at Ava, who was now carefully picking up the donuts she dropped. I can take her for an hour. If you need time. Kelsey's eyes welled up fast. You do that? I didn't answer. I just reached for Ava's hand. We sat in the back corner booth of the local Chick-fil-A. Ava talked non-stop about her favorite cartoons, how her shoes talk when she walks, about the class guinea pig named Pickles. She didn't mention her dad. Or her mom. Or where she was sleeping. After I dropped her off, Kelsey didn't ask for anything more that day. But the next morning, I got a text. Ava keeps asking about you. Can we set up a regular visit? I didn't answer. A week passed. Then I got another message. I'm going to lose her. Just that. 6 words. I didn't know what she meant. So I called our mom. She's being looked at by Child Protective Services, Mom said, voice trembling. Some neighbor reported screaming. Said Ava looked neglected. My stomach dropped. They asked if there was family who could take her. Kelsey gave them your name. I laughed. A sharp, bitter laugh. Of course she did, I said. She's not trying to manipulate you, Rachel. She's desperate. No, I snapped. She's trying to survive. There's a difference. But I couldn't stop picturing Ava in some stranger's house. Eating microwaved dinners. Crying herself to sleep. And I started to wonder if I hated Kelsey more than I loved Ava, or if it was the other way around. That night, I pulled out a folder from my desk. It had all my financial records, credit card bills, pay stubs, my rent agreement. I made a list. What would it cost to take in a child? What would it cost me mentally, emotionally, physically? And the worst question of all, could I forgive Kelsey enough to take care of the only good thing she ever made? Because if CPS came calling, I had to decide fast. The call came on a rainy Thursday morning. I was at work, sorting insurance claims, when my cell phone buzzed in my purse. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. Then another call. Same number. Then a text. This is caseworker Heather Miller from CPS. Please call me regarding Ava Grace, last name. My heart stopped. I picked up the phone and called right away. My voice cracked when I said my name. Heather was polite but firm. There's been a formal report. We conducted a home visit. Conditions were not suitable. Kelsey was uncooperative. Ava was removed from the home last night. I felt sick. She's in temporary care, Heather continued. Your name was given as a possible family placement. I need to know if you're willing. I didn't answer right away. I couldn't. That night, I drove around for 2 hours. Just driving. I passed the old rental hall where I threw Kelsey's baby shower. I passed the field where she took those maternity photos. All those things I paid for, all the effort, the time, the blind love. Gone. I parked outside my apartment and stared at the ceiling for an hour. And then I picked up the phone and called Heather back. I'll take her, I said. But I'm not doing it for my sister. 3 days later, Ava was living in my apartment. She didn't cry when she arrived. Just clutched a ratty stuffed elephant and looked around the place like she was trying to figure out where she belonged. I let her sleep in my bed while I took the couch. The first week was chaos. She wet the bed. She had nightmares. She refused to eat anything but cereal. But then, she laughed. One morning, over pancakes, she laughed at a dumb joke I made. It was the kind of laugh that fills a room. And for a moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Then Kelsey showed up. Unannounced. At my door. I opened it and stared at her through the screen. You took her, she said. Her voice was hoarse. You actually ing took her. I did. You think you're better than me? No, I said calmly. I know I am. She tried to push past me, but I blocked the door. You don't get to walk in here like nothing happened. She's my daughter. No, I said. She was your daughter. You lost her. Her face went white. Then red. You always wanted this, didn't you? She hissed. To steal my life. To take what's mine. I stepped outside, closed the door behind me so Ava wouldn't hear, and looked her dead in the eye. I never wanted your life, I said. But I won't let you destroy hers. You think this makes you some kind of saint? No. But it makes me the one who mattered in the end. Kelsey stood there, trembling. Then she turned and walked down the steps. She didn't look back. I wish I could say that was the last time I saw her, but it wasn't. She dragged me to court 6 months later, trying to get Ava back. Claimed I manipulated her, that I poisoned Ava against her. But the judge saw through it. He looked at Kelsey's record, her behavior, her instability. And then he looked at me, the one who had steady income, no criminal background, a clean home, a child thriving in my care. Custody was granted to me. I cried that day. Not out of joy. Out of grief. Grief for the years I spent being invisible. For the love I gave freely, only to be kicked down. For the little girl who lost the mother she deserved. For the sister I used to protect who I finally let go. Now Ava's room is painted lavender. She has a bookshelf full of stories, and every night, we read one together. Sometimes she asks about her mom. I never lie. But I don't twist the knife either. And sometimes, when I'm alone, I think about that baby shower. The money I spent. The time I gave. The thanks I never got. And I realize now I wasn't doing it for her. I was doing it because I wanted to believe I mattered. I just didn't know that the proof wouldn't come in words. It came in a little girl, holding my hand at night, whispering, "Auntie Ratch, I love you." And that's when I knew. The revenge wasn't the silence. It was the fact that I stepped up where she stepped down, and I made sure that would never be forgotten.